Hi and welcome to a new video. This time it is a Q&A. For the people who don't know me, my name is Chantal. I'm the owner and the artist of Art of Sodels, and I want to show you what it's like to be a full-time artist in the Netherlands / Europe. So yeah, I will take you with me to artist alleys, to boring weeks in my studio. And this time it's a Q&A. A couple weeks ago I asked on Instagram if you have any questions for me about running an art business, and I got some questions, so let's answer them. First question is, do you ever have art block? If so, how do you get over it? Yes, absolutely. I think every creative person experiences art block multiple times. You know, it can happen when you're really stressed or burnt out or just not in the right mood or flow to create things, which sucks if you have an art business. So there are a few things that I do when I'm in an art block, and it kind of depends on what the situation is. So the best way for me to get out of an art block is to have a convention. So if I have a really tight deadline, that's when I have the most inspiration, or that's when ideas hit me. But yeah, that's not very convenient because I don't always have a convention in 2 days, especially when I want to do less conventions in the upcoming years. A couple other things that work for me is either push through it, and I can do that by drawing things that are very familiar for me, like my own characters, things that I have drawn so many times that I can basically draw them with my eyes closed. I can't, but you know what I mean. So for me that would be sharks or my dino knuffies or any of my other characters that I've drawn a lot. And this is just to get back into the drawing flow and just to get, you know, your thoughts running and creating again. And it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be sellable. You don't have to monetize anything that you're drawing at this point. It's just to get yourself into the creative mood again, just to get those muscles working again. Another thing what works for me is just to accept it for a small amount of time. It is okay to be uninspired for a moment. It is okay to be bored. What I try to do then is do something completely different. So that's either walking in nature or taking my camera with me and making photographs of birds. I like to do this as a hobby. It is still creative, but it's completely different from drawing and working in your business. Or bake cookies or watch a movie or do something else that gets you literally out of your art block. Most of the times when I do that, then new ideas pop up immediately, and you know what to draw again. And so yeah, that helps. So either a really tight deadline, accept it for a small amount of time, because if you have a business you can be in an art block for 6 months. That doesn't work. So accept it for a small amount of time. That can be either 1 or 2 days, or do something completely different which is still creative, like baking, taking photographs, walking, exercising. Just do something else. And for me those are the things that works the best. Or like I said, draw something that you are very familiar with, just to get those muscles working again. Alright, next question. Do you sometimes regret producing so many of your products instead of ordering them already made? Or is the flexibility worth the work? Good question, and very funny, because I don't know if you can hear it in the back, but my printer is printing, because at the moment I am making some of my own products. I have never regretted making my own products or outsourcing them or whatever, because it was at that time the right decision for my business. For example, I used to make all my stickers myself, so printing and cutting them. It was a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, it was a lot of work, but at that time it was the best decision because I was just starting out. I didn't know how much stickers I would sell. Most of the times you have like a minimal order quantity that you have to order with a manufacturer. For stickers, it's mostly either 50 or 100 stickers per design. Some offer lower quantities, but then it's more expensive and then you don't make as much profit per sticker. Yeah, I made them myself in the first couple years of my business. The thing of making them yourself is that you can make a lot of things last minute, which is when my most ideas come. And it also means that you can test things out. So you can make just 5 or 10 stickers. You can test them if they even sell, if people like them, and if they do sell, you can always make more, and if they don't sell, then you didn't waste a lot of resources. So it is a great way to test things out. So yeah, I made all my stickers, but you know, you can only make so many stickers in one day, even if you have 2 crickets. In the end, there was not enough time for me to do it, and I was only making stickers because I was selling so much, which is good. But that's when I did decide to outsource them, and that's what I do at the moment. I don't have any sticker cutters anymore, so I sold my crickets and I outsourced all my stickers, and it's the best decision that I made. Again, I don't regret that I made them at the beginning because that was at that time the best decision for me to do. But now they are, you know, UV proof, dishwasher safe, etc. I can't do that at home. I do like to have some kind of production in-house to make some products, because I generally like to create things, not only digital with my drawings, but with my hands as well. Like I said, you can maybe hear my printer or not, but I will show you. Because at the moment I am making wrist lanyards. Like, look how cute they are! So my regular lanyards are all outsourced. I realized that I had all those equipments to make them my own, and it kind of felt wasteful to just keep that and not do anything with them. Now I'm making my own lanyards. Will I keep doing that? I have no idea, but so far I'm having fun with them. But yeah, no, I never regret it. I do like the flexibility of it. I do like to have some kind of production in-house, especially now when other things happened earlier this year, are still happening with the war, the gas prices going up. Shipping costs were really expensive, are still really expensive from China all the way to here. So if I can make some products in-house and save some costs, why not? But yeah, there are products that I can't make myself, so I do have to outsource that. Or I outsource products that I know that I don't have enough skill for, or if I know that other people can do it way better than me, so I can offer you the best quality that I can offer. So yeah, it kind of depends on the product, kind of depends on where you are in your business. Outsourcing gives you other benefits, like more time to create things, to do more marketing, to work on other sides of your business, and keeping some of the products in-house, the production, will give you more flexibility. You don't have to order hundreds of one item. You can test the market, you can test if the product sells. Plus, I really like to make things with my hands. So, next question. Where do you want to be in a year art-wise? Oh, well, year goes by so fast, but at the same time, so many things can happen in 1 year. Well, I do want to slow down with conventions. That's not something for that I want to do in the next year, but in the next 5 years. I do want to slow down with conventions and only do a couple events a year. If I get accepted, of course, because it is rough out there. So I do want to focus on other sides of my business and create other income streams. It would be awesome if I could make money with a YouTube in the future. I have no idea if I ever get at that point, which is fine because I just really enjoy making content and making videos. But it would be great. If not, that's fine too. Again, I really love it. Yeah, there are some couple products that I would love to make. I have some ideas. I have some books that I would like to make. I have my coloring books. I promise the winter coloring book is coming. So yeah, I have my coloring books, but I have some other ideas for books. No story books or whatsoever, but activity books. I'm also working on a board game. I'm also working on a puzzle. So yeah, lots of... actually all products that you can do as an activity. So I don't know, maybe I want to focus more on that. Products that can give you a new hobby. Next question. How did you research to start a business? Any tips? Well, to be completely honest, I didn't research anything. Yeah, so Art of Sodals is my third business. I stopped my first business when I became a real adult. Nobody knows what that is, but I got way too busy with a real adult job, so I stopped doing that business. Then a couple years later, I got that feeling again. I wanted to have my own business again. So I started a second business, and it was kind of similar to what I did as a day job. Because I was like, if I can do this for a boss, I can do this for myself. Unfortunately, I got chronic RSI. And I wasn't able to work behind a computer anymore. I tried another job, but it got so much worse that I couldn't even brush my hair or open a soda bottle or whatsoever. So really bad. Years of therapy, hospitals, whatsoever. Then they were like, this is it. We can't do anything else for you. You just have to live with it. And I was at home. I was at sick leave. I got benefits from the government to pay my bills. And I was bored. I was so bored. And I used to draw all the time, but you know how it is. Then you are younger, and I'll tell you, parents, teachers, whatsoever, they tell you that drawing isn't a real job. You can't pay your bills with that. So it never occurred to me that I could be an artist, that I could be an illustrator, but I just started drawing again because I did found out that the iPad is a very economic, and I could draw longer periods of time without hurting my hand and my arm too much. Of course, I still have to take breaks, but it was working. And that's how I found out about conventions. I met other art people online. I realized there is a whole world of people who are paying their bills with art. And I always think if someone else can do it, then I can do it. For most things. That's how I started my business. I started as a hobby. Besides getting still benefits from the government with permission, I was allowed to try to build this into a real business. And then on the 8th of March in 2020, I registered my business officially, and then 4 days later COVID hit the Netherlands and we went into lockdown, and all my events got cancelled for the entire year. So yeah, that was great. But we survived with doing lots of commissions. This was also in the time that I still did fan art, lots of Pokemon and Animal Crossing. So yeah, I did a lot of commissions. I sold my products online, and then later, of course, conventions started happening again. Now, my best tip is, if you want to have an art business as well, if you want to become an artist, a full-time illustrator, a graphic designer, is just to do it. Now is the right time to do it. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. There's always a reason to not do something. But just do it. Just start. And you don't have to be great at the beginning. You don't have to be perfect, because nobody is. You can learn along the way. So just start. that's the best advice that I can give you. If you want to do artist alleys full-time, that's still possible, even though conventions are overrun by artists, overrun by applications. It is way harder than it was a couple years ago, but it's not impossible. It is very rough out there. It is one of the reasons that I want to slow down with doing conventions, because it is really difficult nowadays to get a spot, and I'm still very lucky that I'm able to get into this much events a year that I can do, but I get a lot of rejections as well. There are so many opportunities for you to create art and to make money off it. So yeah, my best advice is just to do it. Try different things out to see where your passion is, what you like the most, and double down on that. Alright, next question. Will you ever do commissions again? Probably not. And I say this, well, I just finished the commission. So yeah, I did a lot of conventions. I did a lot of commissions in the first couple years of my business. During COVID, it was one of my main incomes. I did a lot of commissions for people's favorite Animal Crossing character, Pokemon. Then I did mostly pet portraits, and I did those for a couple years, even together with conventions, but it was just too much. Plus, I don't really like doing commissions. I want to draw what I like to draw. Of course, as a business, you have to do a bit of research. What is sellable? What does your audience want? But I also believe that as an art business, you have to create something that you're passionate about, because people will see that. So that's the main reason I don't really get any joy out of them. Basically, two reasons why I never do commissions anymore. One is that I just don't have time for them anymore. The other reason is that they are not that enjoyable for me as doing other parts of my business. I like to draw what I want to draw, and not so much what other people tell me to draw. I ask people, hey, what do you want me to draw? Or send me ideas, but in the end, I decide if I want to draw it or not. Like, lots of people ask me for guinea pigs. I don't like them. I won't draw them. Sorry. So yeah, it's the same for commissions. It is really hot with a soft light lamp on your face. But next question. How is the goodest doggo? Oh, Murphy is doing fine. He's not with me in the office right now. It is finally cooling down, so that's a lot better for him. Rottweilers overheat extremely fast. Even above 20 degrees, it's already getting dangerous for them. So above 30 degrees, that's insane. We bought a lot of things for him to keep him cool so he can survive the summer. Today it is finally cooling down, and I think the entire week, so he is doing a lot better now. I will show you some clips of him because I can't film him right now because he's not here. Another question about Murphy, I love that, and that is, what is Murphy's favorite toy? Well, he has multiple favorites. During summer, it's mostly different kind of balls, especially the ones that have a little bit of texture on it. So he has this orange ball with a piece of rope attached to it. He loves that one. He has one in my car, so there's always one with him when we go somewhere. He has one in the backyard, and we have several as a backup in case they go missing or break or whatsoever. Then his other favorite toy are his plushies. He loves his plushies, but it is kind of warm right now, so he only used them as a pillow to sleep on them and not so much to play with them. But his Octo plushie that he got during Dutch Comic Con from Cutie Squad, he loves that one. He loves his frog, he loves his capybara. He loves all his plushies. He basically loves everything. But the orange ball, that is the absolute number one. And next question. Where did you get / learn the motivation or discipline to keep going when you started? Like I said with another question, I got chronic RSI, and the government helped me finding another job, and they couldn't find anything. So they were basically like, yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do, but we can't find anything for you, so good luck with your life. So that was basically my motivation. Like, I can't do anything else, or I do have other skills, of course, but they mostly have to do with the computer. Like, I used to work in marketing, and I did CEO, and I built websites for other businesses. I couldn't do that anymore, and a lot of other jobs in offices are always with a computer, and I can't do computer work for 40 hours a week, or even for 10 hours a week, or even for 5 hours a week. So I really have to slow down my use of the computer. So if I can do it on the iPad, I will do it on the iPad. Like editing these videos, I do them on the iPad because that's more manageable for me. So my biggest motivation was this have to work, because I want to be independent. I don't want to depend on benefits from the government to pay my bills. You know, I want to do something for myself. I want to create things. So that was really my biggest motivation. And I always wanted to have my own business. After high school, I did a small business and retail management, only for 1 year because I bought a house. I don't have a house anymore. That's another story. So yeah, I only did that for 1 year. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to have my own business. Yeah, my biggest motivation was that I want to be independent and don't want to depend on benefits from the government, even though it is great that it exists. But yeah, I want to create something for myself, create this business, and I want to make other people happy with my stuff, with my characters, with my products. It is such a joy when people come to you at a convention or online or whatsoever, and they tell you how happy they got when they saw my stuff for the first time, or when they finally could buy their favorite shark, or that they bought something from me years ago and still use it, and it gives them so much joy. That gives me joy, and that gives me a lot of motivation to continue what I'm doing right now. Alright, next question. What do you think about the rebook system Dutch Comic Con has? As an artist that is in the rebooking system at the moment, of course I think it's awesome. I'd be lying if I say otherwise. I do get that it can feel unfair or frustrating for new artists or artists that don't have a spot at Dutch Comic Con. With new artists, I don't necessarily mean beginner artists, but just new artists for Dutch Comic Con. So yeah, I totally get it, but once you're in, you want the rebooking system, I can assure you. Now, as a business, income varies month by month, year by year. There is no security that you're gonna make a certain amount of money every month. You know, that's part of the job, you know, that's part of being a business owner. But it is very nice to have some kind of certainty. And Dutch Comic Con, and there are more cons, Dutch Comic Con isn't the only one. There are more cons that work with a rebook system or favors artists that went there in the past. Yeah, they do give you some kind of security, which is really, really nice. I really like it because I am profiting off the rebook system. And I do understand that people that are not in it, you know, think about it otherwise. But if I wasn't in the rebook system, if I wasn't part of Dutch Comic Con, I will do my absolute best to get in, because it is not impossible. Every edition there are new artists. So yeah, and I know people, there are people waiting for a couple years now. I have been on the waiting list as well, but every edition there are new artists there. So it's not impossible, it's just really, really hard. If I wasn't in Dutch Comic Con, I would still prefer a rebooking system over a lottery. I hate lottery system. Alright, if the sky was the limit, what would be your dream collab? Brand, artist, whatever. Ooh, good question. I don't really have a dream collab in my mind right now. I mostly have products that I would like to make. For example, plushies, of course. If you know, you know. That's a whole story, but they will be here. I will make plushies, I promise. Well, you know, the HEMA is definitely one of my inspirations. So a collection that I made, to have that in the HEMA, that would be a dream. So HEMA, if you're watching, don't call me because I won't answer my phone, but email me. Yeah, no, the HEMA would be great. I would really love that. And I think it would match with my characters and vibe of the products that I have. Like I make tea towels. I could do a kitchen collection for HEMA. I could do a stationery collection for HEMA. I could do plushies for HEMA. So yeah, HEMA would be, that would be awesome. I'm not sure if that's ever gonna happen, but yeah, that would be pretty awesome. What are your pet peeves? Wow, I could make an entire video alone about this, but I will keep it to artist alleys. I think the biggest one is that people put their stuff on your products. Not on your table, but directly on the products that you have on your table. Like if there is an empty spot on my table, I'm okay if you put your bag there. If you want to grab your wallet or put stuff in your backpack or whatever, just make sure that it's clean, because multiple times when people put their bag on my table, it leaves a spot, it leaves dirtiness, and I don't want that because I have to present my table the entire weekend. But if they put their bag or their drinks, that's even worse, on top of my products. Like my glasses cleaning cloths are always flat on the table, and I have more products that are flat on the table, and they just dump their stuff on top of it like it's nothing, like it's not something that I'm trying to sell to pay my bills. The disrespect. Like if they pick up a product and they don't put it back where it belongs, or they don't put it back neatly, fine, I can live with that. That's fine. I will rearrange it again. But putting your drinks or your stuff, your bags, whatsoever, on top of the products that I'm trying to sell, that I'm trying to make a living with, why? That annoys me so much. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Not with me, not with any other artist in the artist alley. Don't put your stuff on top of our products. And if you do and you mess it up, pay for it, apologize. Okay, so I will keep it there because otherwise it will be a very negative video, because I can list a long list of things that annoy me, including myself. That's it for now. I got some more questions, but I think this video is already on the longer side, so I will end it here. If you have more questions, you can always leave me a comment and I will try to answer them in the comments. Please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, whatever. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!